Hello and welcome to this week's Weekly Wind-Up with myself, Helen Ashcroft. Now I'm joined today by a friend of mine who has a company called Team OA. Now this is a gentleman called Wayne Law. Hello Wayne.
Good morning.
And you started this company, Team OA, which stands for Team Organic Adventures. Now I have to say, we cover your first aid at the events and they are fabulous.
Thank you.
But people won't know what this is about. So I want to know, initially, what made you start this company?
Basically, it started off because I wanted a reason to get people active and get them outside. So Organic Adventure started about 5 years ago with small-scale events. Yeah. Progressed to where we are now, where we've got events with up to sort of 1,000 people turning up. And it's all about people getting active and putting the fun back into run and trying to somehow remove the barriers that some people have between them and actually turning up at a race and crossing the finish line. Okay, so you're saying about fun. I have to say personally, and I do like your activities, I at the moment don't run unless there's a fire. So how do you make your running fun? Well, for instance, if we take a normal 5 kilometre or 3 mile race, yeah, rather than just having water at the feed stations, we will put pies at the feed stations, or on some of them we'll put wine at the feed stations, which gives you more of an incentive to get off your backside and join in, really. You're not just running for a small glass of water, you could potentially be running for a glass of wine at a feed station at a Wine-Athlon. So it's called a Wine-Athlon? It's called a Wine-Athlon, and yeah. When they get pies? That's a Pie-Athlon. And do you do any others? There's a Choc-Athlon and an Ale-Athlon. So there's 4 of them so far, all with different interesting things and incentives. And how long is this race? They all vary in distance. The shortest one we do is 6 kilometres, which is the Pie-Athlon, and the longest one at the moment is 9 miles, which is the Wine-Athlon, which is at Thurstonland with a wine stop every 2 miles. So we know how far they've got to run and we know what we've got at different stations. Do they have to run it? No. The whole thing is about getting people involved. It's not necessarily about the fast front runners, it's about the other people that take part. They're the ones that tend to have more fun. It's the people that turn up for the day with their friends and go for a wander in the countryside. So we're happy for people to turn up in walking shoes, carry a rucksack and make a whole day of it. In fact, they'll probably have more fun than the person that runs around and completes the whole event in less than an hour. For people that don't perhaps venture out, how do they know they're not going to get lost? The whole of the route, every route we put out is really, really well signposted. Okay. And if needed, we have marshals at the road crossings. There's just no reason for anyone to get lost. Right, and what about if they've got a dog? Dogs are more than welcome. We have water stops for the dogs. We have dog biscuits available at the feed stations and all the events. In fact, we really like dogs to come along. My dogs take part quite often as well with my wife. So fabulous, fabulous. Where are these run? You did mention Thurstonland. Where are they in Kirklees? The Yorkshire one, the Wine-Athlon, is run from Thurstonland Cricket Club. Okay. The Choc-Athlon runs from Marsden, from just outside the train station in Marsden. The Ale-Athlon runs from the top of Home Firth, and the Pie-Athlon runs from Sandinock School out around the Golker area and back to Sandinock School. And are these all in the summer? They're various times throughout the year. So there's literally every sort of 2 or 3 months there's another one of these events happen. So you could come along and do the whole series and build yourself up with the shortest one, which would be the Pie-Athlon, and then build yourself up over the year and finish with the Pie-Athlon towards Christmas time. Because you don't just run them in Kirklees, do you? No, we've recently taken the Wine-Athlons to several other locations throughout the UK. We hope to follow suit next year with both the Choc-Athlon and the Pie-Athlon. But the base at the moment is the Huddersfield area. Right, so people could do round in Kirklees and then travel further afield if they wanted? Oh, quite happily, yeah. We'd love for someone to be the first person to join us at the other 4 venues for the Wine-Athlon. That would be absolutely fantastic. Fabulous. Now that sounds really, really good. Is there anything else that you'd like to add over these athlons? Because I've got another question on something else. Well, the athlons really, it's not necessarily about coming on your own and taking part. It's about bringing friends and family with you and putting a team together. What we've noticed a lot with the Wine-Athlons especially is we're getting a lot of hen parties, university students coming back together for a gathering of friends, birthday parties as such. And the running clubs, for instance, that are taking part, they're coming along and actually running it as a club rather than it just being them turning up at a race and all running their own race. So it's a real event. And we kind of encourage people now to turn up, bring a picnic and make a whole afternoon of it. Don't just think you're turning up to a race to finish the race and then disappear off at home. We want you to stay and make a real event of it for yourself. So these events will help the lifestyles and the health? Yeah. Fabulous. It's giving people another excuse to get out and do something. Because I think there are plenty of other races around the UK that people won't turn up to because there's no reason for the normal public to turn up unless they are an actual runner.
Yes.
Whereas what we're finding is we're getting absolutely anybody turning up, because it's not just about the running or the racing, it's about the actual event and the taking part.
Yeah. I have to tell you this, what happened on the Worcester one. So, we did have some, and it really was a fun event, wasn't it?
It was a little bit too much fun.
Yeah, there was a cohort of ladies that were in fancy dress, and they came because they'd never done anything like this before, wanted to experience it for the first time. The first run across the finishing line in something like 50 minutes.
Yep.
And they finished 3 hours later, didn't they? But they did have a fabulous
They
time.
did. I think they potentially found 1 or 2 other pubs along the route that they could pop into just to assist themselves along the way.
But the good thing was they'd never done it before, and they want to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's because you made it fun and safe.
We make it fun. We highly encourage fancy dress. We want people to have a really good, exciting day, and we want them to come back again. That's the whole ethos of it, really.
Brilliant. So where do people find out more information about your events?
If they visit teamoa.co.uk, there are links on there to all the other events. If they're more interested in just the Wine-Athlon, they can visit wine-athlon.co.uk, and all the dates and fixtures are on that website for them.
Brilliant. And we will have more information of what Wayne's just said on this website. What about prices?
It varies. It depends which event it is. They start at about £15 and go up to about £20, £25, depending what area we're in.
Okie dokie. And some people do it for charity, I believe.
A lot of people do it for charity. Although we don't have any charities directly connected, what we do encourage is people to raise money on charities' behalf. So any charities out there that would like to be involved, we'd love them to get in touch as well.
So they would come to you through the usual channels, looking at the website and link in there.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you ever so much for that information. I do just want to add the serious runs. And you did a serious run very, very recently called the White Rose Ultra.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So the White Rose Ultra is a 30 mile, 60 mile and a 100 mile ultra marathon.
100 miles?
100 miles.
People don't run that?
They do run that. The finishing time this year was 19 hours 8 minutes to run the 100 miles.
Non-stop?
Non-stop, no sleep, through the night. Started at 12 o'clock Saturday and he finished the following day.
And where's this taking place? Where does it take?
It's a 30-mile loop around the Colne Valley area. So to do the 100 miles, they basically run 3 loops and a small extension at the end of that.
Now, these aren't for the fun runners. These are...
Not at all, no. These are serious runners with many, many years' experience. It's, it's a totally different world altogether.
Okay, but if somebody was interested in finding out more about the White Rose Ultra, again, it's through the usual channels?
Again, it's straight through teamoa.co.uk and all the links are on there to find more information about that. There is a 30-mile option on there, which is open, which is more or less marathon distance, so it's very achievable to anyone.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I have. Well, that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed listening to Wayne and what actually happens on the Team OA events. If you'd like to comment on this or any other story, then please do so by the usual means. Thank you ever so much for watching, and thank you ever so much for the team behind the scenes, who if they weren't there, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you ever so much. Goodbye.